Hi, I'm Jesse Bergman, and I'm the lead designer for Punch It Entertainment and the designer of Battle for Sularia. Battle for Sularia was brought to market by Punch It in January of 2016. It is a brand new, exciting strategy card game with using non-randomized distribution, which means as an expandable card game, from time to time, Punch It will expand the game with new and exciting cards. However, players will never have randomized packs, meaning that every time a new release is released, Punch It will release 4 copies of the card, which is also a playset. Battle for Sularia is set in the vibrant world of Sularia, and Sularia is a planet that has been ravaged by a cataclysmic event almost a millennia ago called the Fracture. While once lush and resplendent with life and teeming with life, Sularia is a mere fraction of its once glorious self today. However, Sularia is on the mend, and being on the mend, factions are now vying for power and control over a new world. And that new world is left hanging in the balance as everyone fights for the precious resource Solarium. Solarium is the lifeblood for factions. They need it for survival of their race. And so therefore, being a precious commodity and being a short supply commodity is fought for violently. And over the course of many different battles, the war wages on. Battle for Sularia, The Battle Begins, which is our starter set here that I have in front of me, is the first release or our starter set for the game. It features 2 of the 4 factions of Sularia, the Jotun, which is an empirical society inspired by Norse mythology who has spent a millennia genetically perfecting themselves to be the perfect human beings. For the longest period of the time, Jotun never left their biodomes. And they were protected under these huge monolithic structures that protected them from the harshness of the outside world and preserved a way of life that once existed on Sularia before the Fracture. Now, their society is threatened by the depleting supply of Solarium, and left with no other choice, they've militarized themselves with their final resources to move out and raid the nearby Scythian outposts for more Solarium. The Scythian, the second faction featured in The Battle Begins, is an AI construct that was designed by the Jotun. Originally, they were just dumb worker bots. They were out mining Solarium and bringing it back to the Jotun society. However, eventually that Solarium, the known deposits of Solarium disappeared. And when they disappeared, the Jotun had to evolve the Scythian race, or they'd have to go out on their own. Not wanting to sacrifice a Jotun life, they developed 2 brothers, Animus Vox and Novum Sparrow, both AI constructs designed in the image of the Jotun, sent out for the purposes of finding new deposits of Solarium. Animus is the protector. Novum is the builder. Together, they found new deposits, and for a time, continued to mine Solarium for the Jotun. But slowly but surely, the AI became aware, and as it did, it started realizing it was working as slaves to their Jotun masters. Animus systematically built an army of Scythian bots under his guise and control to march on the Jotun capital city of Golgothar. And there, he made a backroom deal with the emperor that nobody knows what happened. And that day, the Scythian left all Jotun society in an exodus. Now, fast forward 400 plus years from that exodus, and the Jotun, left with no other choice, are militarized and raiding Scythian outposts. And that's how we get to The Battle Begins. Now let's talk a little bit about what makes Battle for Sularia different and unique from other card games on the market today. For one, Battle for Sularia features a unique 2-resource system. Our first resource is called Influence. And Influence allows us to build powerful sites. And these sites will protect us from our opponent's attacks. I'll be attacking your sites, you'll be attacking my sites, and we'll be dealing damage to one another. In addition, sites produce the second precious resource, Solarium. So not only am I dealing damage to you, but I'm also potentially denying needed resources to be able to pay for your combatants through Solarium costs. Solarium can also be used to pay for powerful effects in the game. Now, from there, we'll go ahead and continue to battle back and forth, but the game doesn't end when one player dies, because the game works in what's called a round-based system. And so in a round-based system, one player is declared the initiative player, and the other player, you, is declared the off-initiative player. If I'm the initiative player and you're the off-initiative player, then I can take you to 0 health or less than 0 health, negative number of some sort. However, you being the off initiative player, you'll get one final turn. And in that final turn, you can do more damage to me and take me to a lower negative number than yours. Then we both are going to die for our factions that day, but your faction would be declared the empirical victor. Battle for Sularia also features a unique deck building system called the 60-90 deck construction system, which means that when we build a deck in Battle for Sularia, we always have to come to the table with at least 60 cards, and we can never exceed 4 of any one card because that's the play set. However, we can't exceed 90 points. And each card, which we'll show in the upcoming videos, has a construction value that ranges from 1 to 4. 1 being the cheapest and 4 being the most expensive. So no longer can I grab the most powerful cards and always slam them all into one deck. I have to actually balance my power cards around the staple 1-point cards, which in other games may be considered toss-aways or throwaways. This really opens up deck building and creates a very interesting deck building meta. So if you love crafting decks and brewing decks and doing all of those things, Battle for Solaria is definitely the game for you there. So from here, the next video we'll start talking about what's inside the box. We'll do a box opening to show you what you can find inside the box, as well as talk about the starter decks a little bit, and then we'll start going into the individual cards and go from there with additional videos showing you how to play. Thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure to meet you today, and we'll see you in the next video.